For this year's tight-knit TCU volleyball team, the bond they share can only be described as a sisterhood. But for twins and teammates Chyna and Chyanne Perkins, that sisterhood has a much more literal meaning.
Well, people always say what it's like to have a twin, and it's really just like having a sibling there all the time and just a friend.
A lot of people ask us, like, do we do everything together? Are we like exactly like? For the most part, yeah, we are. We do exactly everything together. I think that we're really lucky with our team dynamic. We have a lot of chemistry. We all like each other a lot.
I'm close with teammates, but she's like the closest one, and we can tell what each other's thinking.
Especially on the court, we know what we're doing all the time if we're on the same side.
When she messes up, like, she looks at me and like I know what she did wrong, and like she knows too, and we can do the same thing for each other.
The twins have been actually a very pleasant surprise here at TCU. They're both very knowledgeable about volleyball and have brought a lot to TCU volleyball as far as just talking about the game to their other athletes.
As the daughters of former NBA player and 1984 Olympian Sam Perkins, sports were a way of life from an early age.
The Lakers do not have any timeouts remaining. The Bulls with 2 left. Mike Dunleavy going with the shooters. Teagle, Scott, Perkins, Worthy, and Johnson. Bulls by 2. You see the clock running down. And Perkins goes for 3. He's got it. He went for the shot from downtown to take the lead.
Their father definitely has rubbed off on them as far as having just the knowledge of the game and playing, and obviously it's 2 different games, but just being an athlete, what it takes.
I never looked at him like as a basketball player. I looked at him as a dad. He just tells me to work hard all the time. Like, he went through the process of being a college athlete too, and so he knows the struggle.
He just tells us not to expect anything to get handed to us just because, you know, he is who he is. We have to make our own identity and build ourselves by ourselves.
He knows exactly what I'm going through, and he just says keep pushing because it's all worth it in the end. Me and my sister started playing basketball when we were young, and that's really the sport we started with. In middle school, we started playing volleyball.
For the most part, we played together all throughout up until college.
Originally from Los Angeles, California, the twins traveled a long way from home in order to come to TCU.
Well, my dad lives in Dallas, and so when I was looking at schools, I looked at schools in Texas, and I just found TCU and fell in love. Just the campus, the size, football, volleyball, everything.
The hardest part about being in Texas is probably being away from my family and friends in LA.
I don't know, I miss my dogs probably the most. I have 2 Chihuahuas, Coco and Blake.
Chyanne is responsible for getting both the dogs. I do like them, but not as much as Chyanne does. I did help name Blake after Blake Griffin, but those are her dogs for the most part.
As freshmen far from home, walking on can be an intimidating experience, but one that's made easier with a twin by your side.
Well, at first, I was a little anxious. It was nerve-wracking because we didn't know anyone.
But having my twin do it with me was easier because if there was a time that I felt unsure about this whole process, then I could talk to her, and she's always feeling the same thing.
Like, after a year now, like, they're all my best friends, and I wouldn't trade anything for the world.
So what are the differences between these identical twins?
I would say I'm a lot more sarcastic. That's always something that people have told me.
I mean, some people say my face is rounder, or hers is like more narrow, I don't know.
I don't really notice any distinct differences between us, so it's hard when people ask us what's the difference. I really don't know what to tell them.
Some say I'm the nice one, she's the mean one.
There are a lot of times where our coaches get us mixed up. Even now, Pren has trouble with that.
Oh, I still look right at them and say the wrong name, and then I change it right away. So when they first started playing, it was fantastic because they wore different color headbands. So each time they'd say, Coach, I'm Chyna, I have this one on, or hey, I'm Chyanne, and I have this color on.
I don't know how people tell us apart because it would probably be hard for me too.
They're quiet until you get to know them, and then they are all over the place hysterical.
Chyanne does. You for sure do.
Okay, actually, no, I do.
For sure do.
Yeah,
she does.
I do, actually.
Chyanne does. Really loud, too.
All the time.
All the time. I am.
Chyna.
Chyanne.
No. Absolutely Chyna.
Chyanne does not like to get.
Chyna
No.
is the mean one.
They call me the mean one, but I'm not really mean. Chyanne's a lot harder to get up in the morning. Yeah.
For FrogVision, I'm Charity Robinson.